Hello and welcome back to Rogue Trader. Last time we pretty much finished up this world by doing the Electro Cenobium, which was actually pretty good. It was a good ending to this and a good conclusion, minus the puzzle. But before we get on to the last bits of this world we need to do and picking a new world and all sorts of things like that, what we need to do is we need to look at the fact that we have to level up. So let's do that first. What is a level 11 level up? Also, look how close we are to leaving operative. What level is it? It's level 16. We are only 5 levels away. Actually, is it even 5? We are 4 levels away because it's only 11 because we haven't yet done the level up to 12. We're only 4 levels away from having to pick like our next archetype, which is very cool. Let's see. So available abilities or available common talents. So let's have a look here. What do we want? For the next attack against a target afflicted by an exploit, which is everybody now, that target's cover efficiency will be reduced by 5 plus plus perception bonus times stacks of exploit. So it's going to be perception bonus times stacks of exploit. So let's say it's going to be like 3 as a default. So we're talking 12 plus 5, 17, 17%. This attack will have 5 plus perception, so then have 17% hit chance as well. Alright. I mean, we usually have 95% chance of hitting, so that's not really a problem. Until the operative's next turn, their allies' attacks also remove exploits and deal plus int bonus more damage. That's pretty good. So it'd be plus 5 more damage, and then I assume they get the bonus of the exploits as well. Okay, that's pretty good. Intimidation, we know what that is. The operative removes 1 exploit from each enemy in a 5-cell radius round a point within 10 cells from the operative. There's only 1 enemy in the area. The operative removes all exploit stacks. All allies gain 2 times the number of removed exploits % armor until the end of combat. If 4 more exploits are removed, the operative gains number of removed exploits damage until the end of combat. Okay. I understand. I think intimidation might be our option here, although it's percentage stuff. Yeah, it is all kind of percentages, although it's 3 times int bonus % armor that would remove. That would affect. The negative effect is doubled for enemies with 3 times int bonus % armor, so that's 15% armor. So it could be good. I think joint analysis sounds good for us, potentially. Yeah, especially if we have more split up fights like we had last time. This then allows us to be like, okay, I'm going to activate this, and then, say, Argenta on the other side of combat can start triggering all the exploits and have extra damage, which would be good on burst as well. Like, plus 5 damage on a burst weapon? Ooh, that's fantastic. And then we get a common talent. Okay. Seeing what we have down here. I do like this one. Once per combat, if the Crime Lord has at least 1 stack of Surefire Plan, they do not die from lethal damage. Instead, they heal 5 times Surefire Plan stacks % of max wounds, lose all stacks, and can no longer gain Surefire Plan stacks. I mean, that's pretty good. You know, just actually I'm not dead. This means that we always have Surefire Plan, which is useful, though we've never ran out yet. Don't care about perception bonus things. Don't care about agi bonus things. Weapon skill bonus. The bonus damage of Surefire Plan is increased by 2 times weapon skill bonus, which %, so that's 6%. So that means it would be 20% extra damage instead of 14. Killing at least 1 enemy with an attack restores 1 stack. Now what's interesting about this one is this one's potentially really, really good for us, because it means that we can start stacking up our weapon skill, which currently we can't really stack up because we have no use for it, but our weapon skill stacking up will in turn increase the damage of our ranged weapon, which is not usually a connection, right? Weapon skill is usually only about melee, But this allows you to turn it into a ranged thing. Now that is very interesting, because that works very well for a character that's trying to straddle the line a little bit, which is what our endgame kind of character is. I think this is potentially insane. Okay. I do like the 50% chance to dodge the first attack of opportunity, but it's not useful enough to take right now. What's weapon personalization? All ranged weapons have like a whole bunch of bonuses. Yeah, okay, we'll worry about that later. I think I'm going to take Killing Plan. I think I like the concept. Like, I like the concept a lot. So we're going to try that. Okay. So we've got something that allows us to apply our operative damage to everyone else. And then we've got Killing Plan, which increases Surefire Plan by 6%. Whew, lovely. Right. Let me just double check something. I'm not being stupid on... Well, to check that I'm not being stupid.
Miscalculations are for commoners.
Yeah, there you go. It's right.
Mistakes.
If the Crime Lord attacks, they gain 20% more damage. That doesn't say if they attack in melee range. I was just double checking there wasn't like a separation, right? No, it's entirely about if we attack. Great, love it. That's some good work there. Let's do Adira next. We'll do the operatives first. Okay, so you get an ability, but your abilities also include psychic powers. So... the problem is, knowing that I could take this one. A concentration of faith's Santic powers are used by pious psychers to protect allies. Well, no, the thing is, it doesn't make you a sanctified psyker. It just means you can use sanctified powers. Yeah, never mind. I'm trying to think, what would I want? What would be... It has to be good enough that we can risk summoning a demon. And currently none of these are good enough so that I can risk... Like, we're not going to make her somebody who's going to buff your intelligence, perception, fellowship, right? Because, like, what's the purpose? It could summon a demon. That's obviously not a good move. Because these are not good enough currently to make... Like, the buff is not high enough that is worth the negative that we would get. Now, the fact that the demons probably don't scale throughout the game, like from Perils of the Warp, they're probably set, I imagine. That probably means that eventually it will be worth it because, oh, we summoned a demon, we kill it next turn or whatever, right? Not a big deal. But right now I'm like, why would I take that? It just seems bad, unless, of course, it leads into something else. You have to take... Yeah, we have to take either Foreboding or this one. I already have Foreboding. Okay, in which case that's fine. Then we can get Perfect Timing. That requires Psi rating 3. Perfect Timing or Cognition. This one just needs Psi rating 2, so we've already got the prerequisites. This one requires that we have Dominate. So everyone within a 7-cell radius cone in front of the Psyker suffers psychic shriek damage and is forced to make a willpower resistance test. All targets that fail are stunned. Okay, so we'll take Dominate here then, because that opens up the path to Psychic Assault. At some point, we're going to be able to use Psychic powers, so we can just build up towards that. I mean, it's not a great answer, but it's what I have right now. So that will be with -5 times Psi rating penalty for the willpower chest. Or next turn, they will spend all their movement points to move as close as possible towards the Psyker. They can act as normal, but all their MP are spent on moving towards the Psyker. Okay. I'll take it. Yeah. Okay. Fine. And then here, what are we looking for here? Stabilizing factor? No, I don't think that's it. There's no way to make you like a sanctified psyker, is there? Not that I can see. Yeah, okay. Psyker's allies gain 15% hit, critical hit chance at the start of combat. First critical removes it. It's kind of nice. Allies under the effect of at least 1 psychic power gain 5 plus 2 times the Psyker's Psi rating % armor pen. Maybe that applies if somebody else gives the psychic power. That would be cool. I don't know if it does, but it would be cool. It gives us more AP. First dodge attempt of each of every enemy in combat suffers a 7 plus 7 times the Psyker's Psi rating % penalty. It means that people are less likely to dodge? I like that one, actually. Like, they're less likely to dodge the first hit. I like that. Okay. Yeah. None of these are what I'm looking for. Yeah. No, none of these are giving us anything that's going to be particularly good right now. Unfortunately. Let's go with predicted downfall. I think that one's going to be pretty nice. I think that's going to give us a nice little bit of extra damage at the start of combat. I think that and like an Edge of Fate combined, less likely to dodge, more likely to crit, it could lead to a very interesting start of a combat where we kill a couple of enemies very quickly. Cool. So I think we're trying to give her psychic powers that give us passive bonuses. I'm trying to think of what I want each character to give us, right? I don't want her actively using psychic powers right now, so I want her gaining abilities which are going to passively give us benefits of having a psyker without actually actively having to use the power. So that's what I'm going with there. Pascal. I mean, this is nice. Precise attack could be good for him, although his perception is also utter garbage. That's good. Tactical knowledge. Yep. I mean, my main problem with tactical knowledge is I understand it's good. It's just like way too much like text. Like it's like you need this, then this, and it does this number times by this number, which does. I just need it just simplify it, and I would take it. Like this one, great. While in cover, you gain this list of bonuses. Fantastic. I can work with that. This one, I don't know. Like every time it just triggers something in my mind that makes me go, I don't want to read that. That's too much. I am actually going to take perfect spot. Which I just think is very straightforward. Now you do have a plasma weapon now. We could take plasma weapon experts. They gain +2 maximum damage. That's nice, I suppose. Let's dueling mastery. Bonus to parry. What's plasma weapon proficiency? Oh, we already have it. Okay. Yeah. What about these ones? We've already had a look at these ones before, haven't we? Forge World characters gain a stacking +10% bonus to hit chance and dodge reduction against any target they hit with a single target attack. Successful critical hits from single target attacks increase the hit chance and dodge reduction by 20%. So it's like if we keep hitting something, we get a bonus. We don't have heavy armor right now. We aren't facing that many flame weapons, although we were at one point. We're stacking combat with any plasma, melter, or power weapon deals additional damage equal to 5. How does it work this out? It's intelligence. Okay, equal to your intelligence modifier. For the remainder of combat, the bonus damage is decreased to int divided by 2. So that would be currently 2. But yeah, I mean, that's actually just a better version of the one that we saw above, the plasma weapon one, right? Because that would give us 2 damage, which I guess does give us 2 maximum, but also 2 minimum. And it's 5 on the first. Yeah, let's take that. It's fine, we don't use it that often either. If we do an AoE, then surely that's going to be fantastic, right? Surely. Right, Abelard. Characteristic. Well, strength makes sense, because that would put him to a 5 in strength. Which would then be like a nice place to leave him off. Agility makes sense if we want to move towards getting dodge, but I don't really. Weapon skill makes sense to give him extra hit. Let's give him strength. Let's give him 1 strength bonus. Then here, like, athletics, I mean, makes a lot of sense. He would be the best athletics person by far. Coercion is his thing, though, right? No, coercion is fellowship. Coercion is nobody's thing. Ah, yes. It's currently Heinrich's thing. Medicae, He's never going to be the best, but I guess I'll take athletics. It makes him the best in it. Okay, cool. So he's now got 70 athletics. Oh, his athletics also goes up due to the strength. So yeah, he's got like a ton of athletics for us. That's good. Let's do our next warrior. Characteristic. Strength, again, that would put him up to a 50 strength. I feel like I've just done this somewhere. He already has coercion. Carouse? Is he the best at carousing? No, this one is Abelard's. Yes, this is Abelard's. Athletics would be good, because it would make him equally the best at athletics. Laura Xenos, he does get a bonus to, but we have a couple of people who've taken that now. Medicae would allow him to use healing items, not that we would want him to. I think we take athletics on the off chance that we don't have him and Abelard in the party. I know I'm doubling up, but like, to be honest, he's not going to be the best int person. The way I look at this, right, is that our character, because we have the most int and we're going to keep taking int, is going to be the best in everything that says int, right? Apart from tech use, which we have a very specialized tech use character. Okay. In which case, he's not going to be the best at any of those. His fellowship is 30, so he's not doing those. His toughness is not as high as Abelard, so he's not doing that one. His awareness, I guess we could take awareness, I guess, but his perception is also garbage. It's kind of like, yeah, I guess we'll take this then, right? It's the only thing you actually do that's better than anyone else's. Here, characteristic. Willpower means that we would have a willpower bonus increase, which is not necessarily immediately useful, but it would mean if we have to make a willpower check, that would be good. Perception is nice because it would allow us to make better awareness checks. Yeah, does it do anything else? Reduces a character's dodge chance against a character's attack, or an enemy's dodge chance against a character's attack. Yeah, sure. You know what? It can be perception. You swayed me with almost nothing. Here, don't really need any of this. Like, none of this makes sense for us to take. Nimble is nice for 10% dodge, I guess, but what about bolt weapon expert? Gain additional armor pen? I mean, that's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Anything else in here? We can take a skill increase. Okay. Ready to serve. When an Imperial World character is affected by an ally's non-damaging ability or affects an ally with such an ability, the resolve is increased. Okay. Gain a bonus to characteristics when under a certain amount of wounds. Doesn't tend to happen to you. Imperial World characters gain 10% critical hit chance and 10% armor against Xenos or demonic creatures. Their allies gain half the bonuses of No Heresy. However, Imperial World characters, lower Xenos and lower Warp characters are always 0. Or lower Warp characteristics are 0. I tried to read 2 lines, I think. This would be fine. Your lower Warp is going to be garbage. It's always going to be garbage, and ours is going to be better, so why don't we just give you this? It won't immediately be useful, but, like, to be honest, when do I need critical hit and stuff? The problem is it's armor. I don't need you to have armor, because you're not going to stand next to the enemy. All enemies in the area effect of the Warhammer of Furious Recital gain a stack of Disturbed effect. Enemies gain 2 stacks. All demons in the area suffer damage. All the devotee and their allies in the area of effect of the Warhammer Furious Recital gain devotee's willpower bonus divided by 2 damage for single shots and attacks of opportunity for 1 round. The devotee gains a bonus to armor against attacks of demons and warp damage. Resolve is permanently increased by willpower bonus divided by 2. I mean, that would give us a reason to increase willpower instead. 3% chance to ignore any enemy attack. If we assume this is done after, like, dodging, that's kind of interesting. It's okay. Or maybe it's done before it even gets to dodge. It's interesting. Melee, flame, and melt attacks against demons and psychers. You know what? I'm just going to take no heresy. I still think it's good. I think the critical hit chance is nice. Minus 200. Wait a second. That means it's not 0 always, does it? Because you could, in theory, get above 200. Or maybe that's giving us an idea about what the reasonable levels are going to be for these. But still. It's not actually 0, is it, if it's minus 200? Minus 170 lore warp. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. That's definitely how I would have chosen to display it. Definitely wouldn't have just put the number 0. Anyway. Cool. That was an interesting level up. Right. Let us head out here. Also, wait a second. Yeah. Oh. No, we'll keep that. I was thinking we would get rid of it, but I remembered why we had it. Right, quick save. Return to the void ship. We don't actually want to return to the void ship, although we could speak to Heinrichs. What we want to do is head back to this to the planet almost immediately. Do we speak to Heinrichs first? We could. And then we end off with finishing the planet. Ooh. He's come to us.
Rogue Trader. I was somewhat brusque at our first meeting, and I would like to make up for it by expressing my thanks for your assistance in the electrodynamic Cenobium. Your arrival could not have come at a better time. Thanks to you, I have succeeded in finding the object that brought me to this system in the first place. Now that the weapon of corruption has been seized from the cult, I can satisfy the Lord Inquisitor's wish and travel with you to Footfall, once you have finished your business on Rycat. There is one more thing. The Lord Inquisitor gave me this item some time ago. He must have thought it likely that I would find myself aboard this vessel sooner than he. I was instructed to deliver this device to Lady Theodora. However, given recent events, I believe I ought to present it to you. This is an elucidator, a sacred machine capable of translating the languages of remote and lost worlds into Low Gothic. It can even process Xenos languages to a certain degree. Not without infelicities, but possibly well.
That's a good word, infelicities. Thank you. I'm not going to accuse them of giving us a tracking device. I mean, if they're giving us a tracking device, whatever. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Thank you. The Inquisition's generosity is greatly appreciated.
May the elucidator serve House von Valancius as faithfully as it has served the acolytes of the Holy Ordos up to now.
What do you plan to do now?
I would like to offer my assistance in resolving your immediate problems. I am aware that the ship suffered considerable losses during the recent mutiny and was damaged by the cultists' actions, and you have lost many valuable officers as well. You are in a difficult situation. I am at your disposal.
What do you think will become of the electrodynamic Cenobium?
It all depends on the electro-priests who survived the attack. Fortunately for them, the cultists did not manage to seriously corrupt the holy site, partly thanks to the priesthood's efforts. Nevertheless, I would not be surprised if the local explorator fleet decides to audit and purge the damaged units once it hears about what has happened.
I must return to my duties. Heinrichs is about to say something else when he is interrupted by the sound of a Vox signal. Someone is trying to contact you.
Thank you for your time. Please consider me at your complete disposal while I am aboard your vessel.
Congratulations on the victory, your lordship. The entire vessel was impatiently awaiting the news of your expedition's success. The rumours about you not simply saving the Tech Priest Monastery but actually eliminating the source of the mutiny are spreading like wildfire. The Vox transmissions from across the world speak of nothing else. Governor Medina is waiting for you at the command center to discuss matters, but I ask that you delay the visit and turn your gaze to the Navis Nobilite station instead. We are in desperate need of a new navigator, but all our communication requests are still being ignored. I do not see how anything other than a personal visit from a man of your stature can convince the representatives of the Navis Nobilite to break their silence. Interesting. I don't know why we wouldn't speak to the governor if he's sitting in our main chamber. Huh. Interesting. So it's definitely like, you should go here, you should do this. Huh. Intriguing. Well, I want to talk to the governor, though. But why would the game say don't talk to the governor? That's so weird. Also, yes, I still haven't gone and got the, what's it called? Yeah, I haven't gone and got the Kickstarter bonus stuff. They're entered in the keys. But I'll do it at some point. They tend to be like OP for the start of the game, or like completely pointless, so I'm not overly worried about it. Before we go anywhere else, said he was waiting for us at the command center, right? Oh, maybe he means the command center on Rykad Minoris. Oh, in which case that's fine. Before we do anything else, let's speak to Heinrichs. Let's see what he has to say. Heinrichs looks at you intently, his head tilted. I know nothing about you, Heinrichs. Could you tell me a little about yourself?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained, and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
Okay. I haven't heard of a night world before. Feudal worlds that are home to ancient noble dynasties, trained to pilot all the engines of war called Imperial Knights. Or pilot the engines of war called Imperial Knights. Now, completely unrelated to this, I just want to have a quick look up at who Heinrichs' voice actor is, because I'm like, that sounds very familiar. Like, very familiar. Okay, so it is apparently Christopher Tester, who is who? Now I'm like, who was he in something else, or is he just like in a million video games? He appears like he is just in a million video games, and I don't know him from anything in particular. Although he was apparently in Dark Souls 2, which probably will be where I know him from. Okay, cool. That's completely unrelated and tangential, but okay, cool. A night world is interesting. Yeah. Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
Ah, that's interesting. So I was expecting it to be none except for, I would expect none except for my, last name or something, or like for my name. But it's the fact it's just his first name. So the Von Kalox is like, yeah, that's something to do with the people who trained him. That's interesting. Wonder who exactly they are. How did you discover your abilities?
Like many psychers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great-aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great-aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't know what I'm more surprised by, the absurdity of this story or the fact that you're capable of such a show of emotion.
I don't consider raw emotions to be a necessity in everyday communication. But let me assure you that I am more than capable of anger. Fortunately for others, I learned to focus it. Properly measured rage reveals the full potential of combat psychana, in much the same way as aged cheese reveals the notes of a mature amasek.
Tell me about the black ship.
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry psychers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers. Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
So you were sent to the Inquisition straight after training? Also, the idea of the black ship just sounds like it's just asking for things to go wrong, right? You take every psyker and you put them together on one ship, and you're like, you know, when you've got or you take every psyker that you find, you put them on one ship, and then, yeah, I don't know. It just sounds like you're asking for some huge kind of warp event to happen. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something else to do with the ship, like they've got people actively working against it or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, you were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Heinrich stops there, clearly not intending to elaborate further. Imperial Guard, known as the Astra Militarum, the primary combat force and first line of defense of the Imperium, also known as the Imperial Guard. I believe that Imperial Guard is the older name, and then Astra Militarum is the newer name. I think this is similar to how we talked about the Eldar and the Ildari in a previous episode. It's like they changed the name up over the years, but like they're still the old name is still kind of in use. Anyway, let's talk about something else. How long have you served the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
Real space, a term used to refer to the material universe as opposed to the warp. You visited many worlds during your service, I'll wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the arch-enemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of Holy Terror, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the segment's other worlds.
What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
The Interrogator returns your look and smiles, but thanks to the expression in his ice-cold eyes, the effect is rather unnerving. For someone who's been in service for decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
Okay. We have a whole crew full of very old people who are look much younger than they are. Interesting. I wonder how old our character's meant to be. I guess it's kind of up to you to decide, isn't it?
Gladly.
You're not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I've never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Koronus Expanse, I've been working alone.
Wandering amongst stars without friends or family, don't you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it.
If you're an interrogator, does that mean you hold a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Are there other acolytes in the Koronus Expanse? The interrogator narrows his eyes at you and releases a disappointed sigh. After several seconds of silence, you realize you will not be getting an answer. Yeah, I suppose it's not the kind of thing you want to share info about, huh?
Such as?
What can you do as a psyker?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium. Servants of chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
Alright, I'll take my leave. Heinrichs politely inclines his head in response. Also, I know there's a lot of, what sounds like rhetorically asking questions and things. No, legitimately, if you have any answers to anything that I've been saying, or if I've been saying anything wrong, please let me know in the comments, because I would rather get it right, and it's more interesting to learn about the lore with correct assumptions than wrong assumptions. I was going to quick save before I did this. I guess I can quick save on this screen, which is fine. I want to go directly back to Rykad Minoris. I was told not to do that, but let's do it anyway. Or they get, someone said, the Voxmaster said don't do it. But I'm going to do it anyway. The reason I wanted to quick save is so we can come back if it turns out that this advances the quest in a way where I'm like, and that's why you told me not to do it. You know, like, instead of it just being a 10-second conversation, he's like, oh no, the rebels are attacking, and it's the big bad boss of the whole act or something. You know, it might be, it probably isn't, but I don't see you, like, we're already here. What could possibly be the negative of just asking him a question? Or, like, seeing what he has to say? You know, look, we could always just leave. In theory. Hello. Greetings again, your lordship. Governor Medina offers Heinrichs a somewhat strained smile. Master Van Kallox, it pleases me to see you in good health. I hope you are accomplished what you intended to at the electrodynamic cenobium. The interrogator nods without saying a word. After an uncomfortably long pause, Medina clears his throat and quickly turns to you. I can't express how grateful I am for your help. Now the insidious heretics' designs have been thwarted, nothing stands in the way of my plans, or yours. With Aurora dead, the spirit of revolt is waning. Entire squads of rebels are surrendering. We're witnessing the final days of the uprising. I've already signed the order to allocate 2,000 first-class Voidfarers to you. Their transfer to your ship should begin any minute now. Also, we got 5 profit factor. Ooh. I would also like to salute the savior of Rykad Minoris, and have already a festive celebration to be held in your honor. We'll celebrate your victory with an ancient custom, the Triumph. You will drive through the city streets accompanied by a guard of honor, as befits a hero who has vanquished the Imperium's enemies, while your trophies will be displayed to the jubilant crowds. Let me know once you have concluded your business in this system and are ready for the Triumph to begin. Once you have concluded your business in this system? Interesting. Okay, so that is an end of act thing. Governor Medina is positively ablaze with enthusiasm. Adira shrieks and blindly reaches for the air in front of her. She rubs her eyes nervously. Oh, for Grok's sake! What the? Lord Captain, I can't see a thing, only darkness, pitch black darkness. Groks, a large semi-domesticated reptile. Groks are most commonly bred as livestock or used as beasts of burden. The governor chuckles nervously and fidgets with his collar. Are you being facetious, ma'am? Okay. Another prophecy? I have no idea. Darkness just enveloped me, bam, like some kind of veil. But I've not gone blind, no. It is the darkness that I see. It's the only thing I see. No idea what that means, but the whole thing reeks, Lord Captain. I don't like the look of it in the slight. Ugh. Adira stares at her hands as if she has never seen them before. It's gone. Medina breathes a sigh of relief. You have no doubt been through a lot lately, ma'am. Small wonder your vision had a dim spell with all the shooting everywhere, let alone these maimed and maddened insurgents. It will be alright. The festivities will distract you and you will feel as right as rain again. I have other business in the system. Then I daren't delay you any further, your lordship. Okay, fantastic. So
Always
we've got a
keep
thing,
your
but
eye on
that's
the prize.
we can leave and do something else. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so that is in theory the final thing to do in this act is we come back here and have a celebration. Okay, and then the big battle will attack us or whatever, right? I'm only guessing, obviously, but it's just like makes sense. Also, we just increased our profit factor by 5, which means we get new stuff. Like, without having to spend anything. No resources. We can just get it. So let's head to the shop and have a look. I don't know if it's worth speaking to companions after these type of quests. I suppose we could have a little talk to them. Let's speak to Ablar
Lord
quickly.
Captain.
Yeah, so he has nothing.
Lord
There's no point speaking to companions, I think, once you've exhausted their dialogue until like the next major thing. And that was not major enough. Hello. Where are we? I would like to do some buying. See, now we can get all these for free, because these are all under our new profit factor of 17. When the wearer uses running gun, oh, I wonder who those are for. They gain agi bonus divided by 2 bonus damage on their ranged attacks. Alright, I'll have those. A bolt pistol. Ooh. Okay. And then the frag grenades, or well, 5 frag grenades. We'll have all of that. If we upgrade this to the top level, we can have everything apart from the Ceramite Stormtrooper Carapace. Do we need any of this? Not really. No, I think we're fine. I think getting these would be fine. But I think we're okay for now. I'm also assuming that these trade things must change per act, because like we've almost finished one basically. So I'm assuming they must change at some point. Right, bolt pistol. To me, I just want to have a look. Is this better? You're probably the only person who can use a bolt pistol. But I actually don't think it's better. I don't think it's better based upon what we're using. But let's just check if you are the only person who can use one. You can use one. Okay. Well, Heinrich's being able to use one would be useful. You can use one. Okay, so that would be instead of your plasma pistol. I think plasma is better. And then you have the question, is a bolt pistol better than an arc rifle? They're fundamentally very different. I guess the reason why I like the arc rifle is because we tend to dash away if we need to. The bolt pistol would allow me to do a lot. In fact, the bolt pistol, I just looked at it. It does more damage than the modified bolter. Oh, never mind. This is just... Oh, never mind. I changed my mind. This is actually just better damage than the modified bolter. Yeah. It just has lower range. Yet, actually, never mind. This is 100% better for her because this is our best weapon. Yeah. Assuming we're at close range. Okay, yeah. Which means that the arc rifle is now up for grabs. Nobody can use it. Maybe you could use it. What do I have on your secondary? The stub carbine. Stub carbine. Okay. I think I know what I was thinking. Yeah, okay. I mean, currently I could take away your psychic staff. There's no reason for you to have it. But it's not really what I'm looking for. I don't know. I guess we'll just keep it. I mean, it could be good if we want to like make it Adira or make Malachi like a shorter range character. It would be pretty good for AoE stuff there, but I don't know. I think we're mostly okay. I think we're happy. Oh, we can also get 100% get rid of the auto pistol though. Add to cargo. Oh, and then this is... Oh, where are we? This is better than your nothing. Yeah, okay. And your agi bonus is 6, so That's 3 extra damage if we use running gun on ranged attacks. Huge. Huge. Okay. Happy with that. You know what I think we're going to do? I was thinking we would go to the next planet, but given the time left in the episode, what I think the best thing for us to do would be is to end the episode here, and then we can go to a new planet, fresh. We have the whole episode to explore. I think that's going to be better. So, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.